a day after that, and thank you so much, you really helped me. A day after that, I woke up to news that I'm dead. So ushaitembea ukaona wewe ni ghost.
People will be scared. Kama umesoma na sijakuona then
yes, so nikasema what? So I didn't even know kwanza that was the news outside there, but I think that was it was Nairobi news or something. I think unfortunately, because they apologized, I think what they got was different, that I was part of the people who had died.
Hi guys, karibuni sana kwa show. My name is Cheptoek Boyo na leo tuko na Alliwah David, who is an actor, a musician and a producer. Welcome to the show, Alliwah.
Boyo.
Karibu sana.
Great.
A long while.
Great to be hosted by you. The great you. Yeah. So this is Alliwah David. Apparently Alliwah David HSC.
HSC. Hiyo lazima ikwe.
Head of State Commendation. Was awarded last year on 20th of October by the president. Decorated, they usually say they decorated for. So right now I'm a shuja.
Yeah, shuja. What does that award come with?
Not really. There's nothing attached to it as such, but of course the honor. To me, at my age and time, I feel like it's an honor being recognized for the work I've been doing for a while, especially in the art scenario. So the prestige of it is that you've been recognized, and at least it elevates you. It elevates your name from being called a mister. Although I usually don't like people calling me mister. I don't know why. Maybe I'm a Tony Blair wannabe. Yeah. So it's an honor. It's an honor at the end of the day. It's prestigious in that the government of the day
recognized you.
Yes. Among very many.
Okay. Nice. So I want to take you back. Born and raised in Nairobi? Ama wewe wa kukuja kutoka wapi?
Mimi sasa ni msoanai kabisa. I'm born in Nairobi. My whole life rotates around Nairobi. Yeah. So Nairobi is Nairobi.
Nairobi is just you and Nairobi.
Nairobi ni kitu moja.
Yes. So hii Nairobi ulilelewa wapi?
Okay, mimi nimezaliwa Pumwani. Pumwani by then haikuwa na story mob sana, but I want to believe there's a progress. But of course by then we were told it was a good place. It's a great place. So I was born in Pumwani. I stayed in Buruburu.
Then ilikuwa kwa wadosi.
Ilikuwa wadosi kweli
hizo siku. Ama uliingia kama zimechapa.
Buru and then Jerry, then from there a lot of the other time was Kayole and Nairobi West. Yes.
Mashule ni gani?
Shule nikasomea hiyo ni Rabai Road Primary School. That is hapo Jerry Buru. Rabai Road nikasoma hapo kidogo. Then because of family issues, I had to join my dad. My mom was unable to take care of us in a way. But because of being that motherly, she thought of where our father was, despite that they were not together. So we were taken to Kisumu, because my dad was an immigration officer, was in Nairobi, went to Nyeri, then left for Kisumu. So we were there a bit before again tukauzwa place.
Unajua ukisema muliuzwa inakaa kama child trafficking scenario.
Something of sort. Maybe one of these days I want to go and visit the place, because I'm on the process of writing a book.
Okay.
About my life. I think there's something about me that I would share with some other people maybe who have similar, how you can come out of some things and make it work for you. So tukakuwa pale kidogo, then in Kisumu in Migosi Primary. Those were all primary schools. Then I went to Karunga Primary School. Hiyo ilikuwa ni a place called Miwani. That was briefly, I think just a span of 1 year, 1.5. Then I was back to Nairobi, makao makuu. Kayole, Dawabu Primary School, that's where now nikamalizia class 8. But kidogo pia nilienda Kisii. My mom passed on in 1996.
Pole.
Thank you. So I went to Kisii school again in Nyambera Primary School within that town.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Nyambera ndo ulimalizia high school?
Hapana, sikumalizia huko, nilienda huko briefly in Kisii, then I came back to now finish in Dawabu Primary School
in Nairobi.
Nairobi, that is Kayole.
Yeah. College?
Sakole issue hapa na pale. Nikaenda College of Life kwanza.
Direct to College of
Life. Nikafanya bit nikaenda kwa Agape, where I go to church, Agape church in Madaraka. Nikafanya Bible school kidogo. Then I did a bit of theater kidogo. Then now I'm graduating this year from St. Paul's. Nimefanya business management, but I'm still on again for another degree on communication. Yes.
Karibu sana kwa industry ya mateso.
Napenda vitabu. Nilijua tu ile issue maisha hapa na pale, but napenda vitabu sana.
Vitabu nzuri. Hata mimi naona naenda sasa nifanye masters.
Please.
Lazima.
Niliona tu ni poa tu.
Kuna ujinga utoka ukiendelea kusoma.
Yeah, you learn some things and you sharpen what you know. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Sasa Alliwah, me I first knew you when you're doing music, and I think I saw sijui kama CD, but I'm on tape.
Your tape.
Niliona
utakwambia sasa
video
zaeki.
Sidhani ni tape. I think ilikuwa CD.
Yes.
Na ulikuwa na Terryanne Chebet.
Wow. The great Terryanne Chebet.
The great Terryanne Chebet. Sasa wewe ulipatana wapi na Terryanne Chebet? Na mimi sikujua Terryanne alikuwaga muimbaji.
Muimbi. Muimbi. So Terry we apart from just people knowing that I'm, the guys who know me as an actor, the guys who know me as a musician, the guys who know me about other things, but mostly the two. So I've been combining these two. I started actively my music I launched my first album in 2002, November 23rd. Yes.
Okay.
A full album. I launched a full album.
Full album. Was it a gospel or secular?
Pure gospel.
I'm
a born again Christian, so you're just sorry, God, positivity. So during we're doing a production with the Heartstrings. Heartstrings, by then it was Heartstrings Ensemble. Now it's Heartstring Limited, Sai, by Sami Mwangi, Victor Bear, and Ken Wauda by then. So we met in that set. But before that, Ian Bogwa used to have a show in St. Andrews. It was called Sifa Dusk. So we used to go there every Saturday, mostly Saturday. I think it was monthly or something. So we used to go there, do a cappella. I was doing with a certain guy. It was Alliwah and Carl by then. So I used to go there with Carl. I had not recorded. So I used to do a bit of a cappella. Do a cappella, and then Terryanne would come. There was Terryanne, there was Liz Jaga, the artist, great actor, and some other lady, I've forgotten the name. So there were three. So they used to come there, do their thing. Wow, mademu wakali. So
were they like backup?
No, they were just doing their,
they had their own.
They're different groups. Okay. So we'd go there. Kulikuwa na CC, kulikuwa na another group, I don't know where they went to, called Naways, very many guys, and then Ian was like the crowning whatever of that, Ian Bogwa, and sometimes with the family, sometimes with St. Andrew's Choir, and there's a pastor there called Pastor Fury. They're the ones who were hosting us there. So during that time is when we would talk once in a while, maybe an appreciation. Hey, ngoma yenu ni poa. I remember a song we used to sing, Hallelujah, Hallelujah, Hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah. And then of course kila mtu alikuwa anaimba, but not because we are very good vocally, but some unajua kama wewe ni artist lazima upush. Sometimes I look at people sahi naambia passion, we had passion. Hey, passion would push you do anything. You'd call yourself whatever you want to call yourself. So luckily enough there was a production we were doing with the Heartstrings Ensemble ama Kenya by then. So hapo tukakuwa cast members. Kitu funny happened, Victor Bear Sami Mwangi akauliza kama tuko na guys can get black pants. So mimi kwanza unajua kile shule nimetokea. Shule zile mashule za manga hizo shule hazijai kwa polling station.
Yeah, na hazitawahi kwa polling.
Kura ikitoka hapo. Nikatulia kwanza wacha ningoje hapa nisikie. Anasema hiyo pants nikasikia amesema but si aliwa na black pants mingi sana. Ngajua wow, okay. Baadaye ile maskini nilikuwa nayo. I used to wear a black trouser every now and then. So tulikuwa na black trouser mbili mimi na brother yangu, so tuna change usiku tuvae. Those guys who know about us, kama ulifuatilia, we used to wear Masai shukas then hivyo sababu ya ile background tulikuwa tumetokea. So
these people assumed you had a lot of pants.
Yes, and she was insisting. Now this beautiful girl here sasa anasema nini this lady angejua tu but nikanyamaza. So I think after that tukaongea nini, then one day I told her now I'm going to record. I was recording with Ruben Kigame. So akaniambia mimi naweza kufanya backup. That's how Terryanne came in. We're not really singing, but she just came in to do
your backup.
On the songs, and that's how now we did a whole album without doing the BGVs.
Wow.
Mimi na Terryanne hapo. But of course we used to meet a lot. Yes, in St. Andrews, meet in KBC, hivyo. So been friends for
a long time.
Yes,
nice.
Yeah.
Being in the industry for several years, plus my albums ni nyingi.
Not really, but I try. I want to believe kuwa na karibu album karibu 6 hiyo ni
hiyo sio kidogo. Hizo ni nyingi.
Kidogo yes.
Yeah. Yes. What has been the biggest challenge?
Of course I've been there for 23 years now. Actively doing, I've not done any other thing. I've been doing music and theater. One on my side has been combining that combo between doing theater and music, theater acting, music producing. It's not been a very easy thing because at one point there's something that will pull the other.
Yeah.
In theater, I have a group called Theatrics Arts Ensemble, and in that group now, you have guys almost 30. They rotate between 25, 30, or 40 people. It's either you give them your time or give music. And you know what art is. I know uko na background kidogo ya art here and there. So that has been a challenge because sometimes one in a way ile ingine unapata kama sometimes I stay for a very long time before ngoma. Na ngoma inataka consistency.
Yes.
Of course finances is another issue. And then now the changes because kama mimi nilianza mimi wale wase walifanya tapes, tunazungusha tape kwa nini kwa concert. Kevin Mulei, you know. Yes. Kevin, by then I got DJ Kevo. DJ Kevin Mulei ndiye alikuwa anazungusha tape akikuja kama DJ. Tumetoka mbali. So from there to the CDs to where we are right now, of course things continuously changes. We no longer like so much go to take our albums nini. You have to go to maybe just put your music on YouTube and those platforms. So those are some of the changes that you have to cope with. So coping with it pia ni a challenge.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, most people know you as the set book guy. At
the set book guy.
Yes. You want to act set books?
The time we're talking, I think we're having an interview or something. Then Eriko Mundi akatoka zile za ati mwalimu. Ati mwalimu Alliwah. Yeah. I'm into set book, yeah.
Now, how did you get into producing set book plays? Yeah.
So this was the year in 2001, 2. I was mostly in public. I was doing public plays, chatting between sometime Phoenix. Heartstring was like my mother group. There was Balamwezi. There was Friends of Theatre. Those are they're doing more public plays, and mostly by then we had a separation. Kulikuwa na zile nyumba kubwa na nyumba ndogo. So KNT was like nyumba ndogo because mostly they used to do a lot of set books. And by then it was a big thing. Set book ilikuwa kwa paper ya standard page 2. Yes, page 2. Hapo kuna maactor walikuwa wanatokea hapo, hata mimi nilibahatia kwa hapo. So as I was doing my the public plays, one day Sami Mwangi, the director at Art Strings, requested me to do a play. It was called Kilio cha Haki. So I went. It was being done in the Kenya National Theatre. We rehearsed. I remember my longest rehearsal set book, almost 5 months. Ndio nijua Kiswahili.
Kiswahili ilikuwa shida.
Ilikuwa ni shida. So we rehearsed and did the set book. Then after that, 2002, something happened. The country, of course, things were political. Then we had the NAC government being formed. Then by then, principals had a meeting in Kisumu, I remember. Then there was this thing of in the papers that principal wanasema mashule groups zinakuja mbaya kwa mashule, they don't know how to act. So led by Jackie Nyaminde, Otoyo Kazungu, Kina Christine Savane and some other guys, they had an idea of coming up with a group which they called Kenya Artist Coalition. Kenya Artist Coalition.
Kama NAC coalition.
Coalition. So it's a coalition moment. So they used to meet at Uhuru Park, and that's now how I got a call from Kazungu akiniuliza kama naweza wa join. I had to consult, and Sami Mwangi allowed me. Akaniambia wewe enda. I think those guys are not badly off, but kindly take care because it's very easy kitu sini najua about set book. Art yako inaweza isha. So I went there, met great guys, Kida Savannah I talked about, and some other guys, and that now was the start of me getting into set books. And because to me I looked at set book differently, that it's just a script like any other script, maybe unless people act it differently, but it's a script like any other script. Because I remember Makbul way back in 2003-4 there, he did a book that I later did as a set book called An Enemy of the People. So nikasema, if I get a good group, then
why not?
So I got into that, and then we started traveling. So traveling theater throughout the country. Then unfortunately, issues in the group ika break. So in April,
coalition ikavunjika.
It's like the spirit of NAC ika break. So 2004 April 10th, I remember we were traveling with some guys, and then nika form group. I came up because kila mtu akashatoka with the other group, everybody went their own thing. And of course when you are starting, you need to, I always say this, very very important in life, kujua purpose yako in life, know what you want, because sometimes even art unaweza pata unafanya kila kitu. I want to believe boy, before I tufike hapa kuna vitu mingi ulifikiria ndio say I want to come up with something like this. There are a lot of things that came out of your mind, ama kuna pale ulifika kujua hapa I'm mature enough to do this. So through teachers, very different teachers, you guys mlienda wapi, why can't you start a group? So I had to rethink, pray, nini. Then ndio nikaanza, by then Theatrics Arts Coalition. I was now following the coalition.
Ilikuwa bado hajakuwa ensemble.
So ndio nikaanza your group with my first cast, member of Parliament Lang'ata being my first cast member Jalang'o and others, and that's how Liaza now set book officially. And I've been there.
How you became Mr. Set Books?
Not exactly Mr. Set Book. But to me, maybe why I do set book, maybe that will be maybe another question, is because apart from just doing set books, to me it's like an academy. After producing all these cases, at least almost every other media, I don't know why moja iko hapa, every other media has a person that has come from my group. Kina Martin Gibinji, Mato, Daddy Mato, we have Kina Osoro kwa The Trend, kuna Kina Kwach, Sami Kiyoko, kuna Sleepy David, and many other guys. In the media, of course, we also have Hassan Mugambi was in our our team. So I think I developed something in me that mine is more trying to hone this new talents and bring them out there. That's why I've maintained my group. Not because I don't want to do any other thing, because I've been in other programs. I did Selena, I did some other programs, some other movies. Then right now, of course, I'm also Mr. Prosecutor. Prosecutor Mvyoja Mahakamani. So, but mostly it's a home to...
You want to mentor the young one.
Yeah, mentor the young and more tell them the truth and professionalism. Because right now we have very many other groups, but one of the things I'm trying to tell them, what kind of field are you going to? I'm this person who wants people to respect theater, people to look at actors differently. Wasifikirie sini watu tumechanganyikiwa nini. We know if you talk about economy, we can talk about economy. Talk about life, whatever, we can talk about it. That's why theatrics is there, and I'm an actor, unfortunately. Oh no, not unfortunately, doing set books.
Okay. You've just said you gave now Honorable Lang'ata MP Jalang'o his first job.
Yes.
How was he like when he came to you?
Okay,
ya kusema ukweli.
ukweli. I've said this ukweli wakati alicall for Jalang'o TV, Jalang'o
Bonga na Jalas.
Last year before now the elections. I got a chance to be in his show. Jalang'o, mimi sema Jalang'o ni Jalang'o tu, ule watu huona. First of all, is a very what do you call it? Not industrious. Is a very philanthropic person. That is, yeni msepia akona roho poa na very artistic and very creative for that matter. When we met, ilikuwa ni funny the way ayo put na ni kweli. Alikuwa ametoka Kisumu, ametoka Homa Bay nini hivyo, alikuwa atembea kutoka Kasarani to the rehearsal space. By then tulikuwa na rehearsingi uko Uhuru Park. So tukakaa naye.
How many kilometers is it kutembea kutoka Kasarani mpaka hapa?
I have another guy. What are you? I have another story.
I
have another story. Wacha na you. I have another story of a guy akwa group yetu sahi. He's called Fred Muya. Fred alikuwa anatembea sasa kutoka Mala. If you know where Mala is.
No idea.
Joska. You know where Joska is? When you
Joska nimekusikia
huko juu. And the time alikuwa anatembea kutoka Bulbul.
Hey,
yes.
Bulbul ni mbali. Najua Bulbul.
So for actors, unajua when you read even in a background hata somebody like Rihanna, if you read a story, Sylvester Stallone, most of us have like kind of stories, like at the end of the day. Maybe that's not maybe the major reason why we get into talent, but I think God just looks at you and anakupatia kitu kingine. So by then maisha haikuwa rahisi, because we would even go and travel and you get 1,000 bob, 500 shillings, and still continue the same cycle bila kuchoka. So that was a fact. Alikuwa anatembea huko, mimi nilikuwa naishi Lang'ata kwa slum. Naona hiyo
jina ya Islam.
Mugumoini. That's where I used to stay. And yet I was a director. Yet I used to appear on
the Sonko.
Ni Sonko. But now you're pushing this idea, Ivo. So at one point we stayed with him. Tukanaye kidogo hapo Mugumoini. Pia to push life. But now in terms of his character, he was a very creative person as an actor. Extremely creative. And as a crime lines za kila mtu on set, kila mtu. That was one bit of him. And discipline at the end of the day, nako hyped. Super hyped any other day. Okay? And he used to talk big. I think it's just by faith.
Yeah.
He believed in himself, yes. So it's great to have one now MP, now my MP. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
By the way,
he's my MP. Yes. Yeah. Life, do you? Yeah.
Now the director of theatrics. How has the industry changed since you started your tour? 204 to now.
So as a director, haijakuwa easy, because one, my vision, my dream has always been to empower. Like our vision is to empower the youth, showcase role models, and champion for a morally upright future generation. Showcasing role models, of course, having all these people I'm talking about has been my encouragement as a director. That's the thing that makes me again wake up the following morning or another day to start it again. Challenge ilikuwa ni mob. Kwanza ni kama tulipofika pahali, you don't get exactly the support you want. People wanawafikiria tofauti. Unacheki sometime kama gava, kama 2016 we had a hit on the industry mbaya. I don't know why hatukuwahi kuja kwako utusaidie, because now we are looking for everybody in the industry to try to tell these guys, unajua sisi wa hizi, sisi watu ambao tujui. Gava wanted to ban set books by then. Matiang'i alikuwa hapa, so nasema ati whatever we are doing, we are not professionals, we are trying to kusaidia walimu wa kuelezi. So hapo tukasumbuka sana, because now we employ very many guys.
Young ones.
Young ones. I'm talking about 30. I became the Secretary General of a group in Kenya Cultural Center Association, KCCAA. This group ilikuwa kazi yangu kutetea artists, especially set book actors. So I tried profiling groups in the country, and there were more than 110 by then. Kila group at least iko na karibu watu 20, and those are families.
Yes.
So now on a place ingine, because we don't really have an academy per se ambayo inazapeleka hawa watu, and even if you have an academy wanalipisha. As we don't charge these guys anything, we freely have them, train them, and then leave them to what now you're saying. So to us, kama kwa hizo academy zetu ama those groups, we look at ourselves kama sasa ndio feeder to the industry, to the film industry kama hizo. So
it's like a free training.
Free training. We train them, because of course also we understand some other people gave us these platforms. So as a director, the changes that have been there, I think, is this society changing? Ama society na change. Passion is dying. That's my biggest hurdle right now. The passion we had. I remember when time flani tulikuwa nafanya play flani, and I was supposed to be a hawker. And I would go to Kikomba to see what hawkers do, the way they sing.
Study the hawker.
I remember people like Peter Marangi, that is Anthony Kinuthia. Known as Peter Marangi.
One of my best actors.
Why sijui ako wapi?
Peter Marangi uko wapi?
You need to come to this show. Yeah, we need to look for him. So this guy angepatiwa character. I remember as a player anafanya Phoenix, whereby he's supposed to be 4 characters. The guy would go to Goethe Institute, aulize ompatizo matape aone vile German, and aklamizo accent German to go on stage. Who are that passionate. So despite that, we have this thing that passion, hawezi kula passion. But I also say, doni poa sana. Doni kitu poa sana. But let me tell you, kama una passion, even what we're doing right now, kama una passion, the day money inaisha, you are nothing.
Interest pia inaisha.
So, but if you have passion, even if the money na nini iende low something, you still have this thing, that oil that now, kama grease inakupeleka mbele. So to me, my biggest issue right now is the changes. We don't have really that passionate kind of talent that you used to have at the end of the day. So I'm forced to inculcate passion. Kitu ambayo ngatu ni normal.
It's supposed to be inbuilt.
So,
you cannot be forced to be passionate.
So unapata hiyo have been an issue as a director. And again, of course, the changes sometimes that unapata you don't get enough support. You are fought as an industry, maybe by the government. Is quite a big challenge, but I still enjoy being a director at the end of the day. Yes.
Okay. There was a trip that Kenya Film Commission took as journalists around Kenya in different film hubs, and we got to Nakuru. There was this amazing producer. I've spoken to him. I even feel guilty. I forgot his name.
Babushe or somebody.
No, I've forgotten his name. Now, he was shooting a script for a set book. And I think it was a partnership with a publishing company, and they wanted to sell these CDs to school. Yeah, so you have an option of reading the book, which the teacher teaches you, you guys going to perform, or now watching the CD. Na sasa hapo naona it's a very good thing. 2 questions. The first one, would you want now to move into screen and shoot a set book? and then how will that impact you? Because ECD inaweza oneshwa for 20-30 years. Kazi yenu imeisha. How will you counter that?
Okay, now I work also with KCD through EduTV. I've been a host there. And also sometimes I'm called in to help in directing, interpreting scripts. I've done several movies. 2015 I did The Caucasian Chalk Circle by Andrew Gibson. I've directed, right now they're still showing Adol's House, which I've also done as a movie with my actors, and some other new books, Mbea Maisha, Sijui Mapambazuko ya Machweo. So I know what you're talking about, the film bit of this. When we were starting, we had a very active team from KICD. They used to go to schools to show those movies. And at one point, it was a big fight between us and them. The background of this theater we are doing, the stage performance, because this is something you ask any actor. They tell you TV will make you popular, film will make you popular, cameras will make you popular. But now when you come to real art, it's on stage. And that's why even that is Denzel Washington says every year he has to go back to the cradle of theater, of art, that is the stage.
Yeah.
There's a bit of stage. I've been in different sets, different levels. I've done a bit of, I was also in Nairobi Half-Life a bit. I've seen pros of cameras and everything. But they still, every actor will tell you, there's still something about stage that you'll never get anywhere else. Now, that time, set books guys were trying to fight the KICD guys, because the KICD guys were cheaper. They would come and maybe even charge guys 20 bob, 30 bob. The school, they'd sit down and do their thing. Theater, mostly, the background was more from the Elizabethan theater, the Shakespeare theater, whereby guys would gather, and now there's interaction. Because that's the beauty of what we're doing. I'm able to interact one-on-one with the audience. I can change my scripts. I can get responses rather than the other way around. Yeah. So despite that, I would want to go to film. I would want to film my things. But there's one proof. Students still feel that there's a touch of live performance that you'll never get it from screen. From screen. Despite screen can go wide, but there's still that space that no one, just like now, you know, you're a journalist and you know about, some time back people were saying that maybe the social media, the TV will overtake radio. But radio is still there. Why
radio is still there.
Why is it
even
there?
What we're doing now is still a kind of radio.
Yeah, kind of radio. Okay.
Yes.
So you see, so radio is still there. Live performance will still have its place. And so because still we love art, we love the stage, I would want to go the other side. And there's something you just said, no normal about mambo ya screen, for me on my side, because the government it does not allow that, because it's one which allows us to do that. It has allowed us to do live performance, not screen. Screen still remains with them. But sometimes you imagine kama tukifanya screen yetu vizuri, job itaisha ama job itabaki na mtu moja. Producer, director. Because maybe I can be selling the thing. There are very many other ways I can do it.
After how long do they change this set
4
years?
4 years.
After 4 years. So you can have that job after every 4 years.
So utauza sai na story yako ishi hapo kabisa. So if I'm going to, because how much can you sell? Especially right now with the digital whatever, somebody wants to download. There's piracy. So that's why sometimes on a live performance, always pirate.
You cannot.
You cannot pirate. So there is that bit you'd want to, or you want to go and do set books on screen. But to me, I still say I would wish ibaki tu pale ilikuwa that stage feeling, because like now we do oral literature, for example. Oral literature, there are questions I'll ask on the spot na nitajibiwa na wanafunzi rather than a screen one.
So it's more engaging.
But I would want to really, my dream, my plans right now is to do some things on screen, but not really set books. Yes. But I always do it unless I'm doing for KICD. I can do that. Yeah.
Kazi baki.
Kazi baki, tutoa kazi yako mzee. Tutoa kazi yako.
Having worked with a lot of young and established actors, you've seen those who have that X factor and have made it in the industry, like the list you've just named. What is this X factor they have constantly that has made them great?
It has been like my maiden speech when I meet actors. The things I tell them, that acting is the only career that, unfortunately, in our third world countries, as they say, it has no clear end. If you said you're going to school today to do communication, you'll think about very many things. If you're going to do education, you'll think about teachers. That industry, the education industry. If you want to become a banker, there's banking, there's establish. What is acting? Like right now, sometimes I fear, and it was an argument when we were talking about CBC, especially when they were insisting that if it was like CBC was all about talent. Yeah, to ambie killer. So everybody wanted to become an actor. But I used to argue and ask them, an actor, do we have, is it sponsored? Is it a scenario that is there?
So let's assume everyone becomes.
Yeah, everyone becomes. What is it? Why people face? Because Aina face. You have to create that face. You have to create it. If it's the media industry, media iko hapo. It's there, you know it. But acting sometimes in a kama blur. I must make it. I must, like right now, come on, set book, I must make that one. That industry. If in the film I can shoot, then what next? Do you have a place you can say that I'll take my thing and itauzwa pale? Haiko, you have to work on. So that sometimes becomes the fear at the end of the day that so naambianga watu, one, when you're getting to theater, jua kuna watu kama watano that are going to look at you. First of all, wewe mwenyewe kujifikiria. Uko na dem chali, atashanga kwa nini ulichukua hii nini? Parent kwa sasa kuruka.
Wazazi
atakuruka. Then you have classmates also. Atashanga, yani of all the things yani Alliwah ukaamua kuchukua hii kitu. Yeah, they love and say you are an actor. Unasikia mzazi zamati ule mtu wangu anafanyanga hizi michezo no, ile ni michezo, okay? So the X factor will come in the moment an actor has a focus, is determined, and above everything is discipline. You're disciplined and you make it an office. You make it an office. Yeah. So mimi ndio, like I tell people, I have suits, enough suits, nilijibaia, nibai suti nivae, niweza kuja nimit na mtu niambie I'm an actor. How do those people look at me? I thank God that it reached a point where maybe the government will even recognize me. I never thought about that kind of a thing. Ati government kama isema ati wewe umefanya hiki kitu for this long nini recognize you. It means the moment the X factor will be when you are determined, you're focused, you're not losing hope, and you continuously package yourself. And that is what all these actors you see, all these guys that I'm talking about did. I remember teaching Hassan Mugambi in Arboretum how to narrate. And I told him, you have a beautiful voice. Unaweza kuwa mtambaji mpoa sana. Mtambaji is now the nini of narrator. And I sometimes I tell them to go watch Al Jazeera, watch nini, watch nani. And through that you don't know. When now they go outside there, they start realizing themselves. Many of them have followed that route. And maybe that's the X factor because they're applying all those things I've talked about. They go creative. I tell them you have to package yourself the way you look. Because sometimes watu wanafikiria acting inakani kama sometimes the way I usually put it when kama muganga fulani. No, hapana. Yeah, because you've been there to know kina 50 cents when they used to sag and those kind of things. Then reached a point where by now we were talking about corporate image.
You evolved.
And so to me, that is the way you're supposed to do. Create that industry, create that image, create you. Package yourself, the way you talk. That's why right now some of us are going back to school because we know there are places to go to and somebody wants just to pin you down because haukukuwa kolea manini. Go and kula hizo vitabu. Learn one or two things about yourself. So the X factor is when you're determined, you're focused, and above all, you are super disciplined.
Aha. So sasa venye tumemaliza hivyo strong positives. What causes the downfall of actors?
Planning.
Sio alcoholism, mimi niliambiwa hiyo ndio inaangusha sana.
That planning. Planning is when class gani? Boy, planning yani downfall is when umekata kuplan before.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. But sometimes of course you can plan na zisiende sana, but kuna kudunda ingine ambao tunadunda ambao purely is brought by pure planning and poor thinking about what we are. I talked about determination na kila kitu. Excitement tumaliza. The excitement that is called celebrity, okay,
I'm the popularity,
and then not knowing that sometimes easy vitu. I talk about 23 years. I only thank God that I've been able to run the race for 23 years. My group has been there for 19 years. Next year we're going to 20. Going back to the drawing board alone, not with people, alone. I've seen guys have been in the most popular programs running on TV. Then one day unasikia, this nini is coming to an end next week on Friday. Season finale. Then next thing, this is the guy who tells you, anakwambia ni aje mazee sina do. Unashindwa, bro, sees when ulikuwa popular, ulikuwa talk of the town. What happened is because during that time kuna vitu watu learn. Na unajua kwa nini I tell actors this is the only thing that mostly kama sahi watu wakienda shule wakuja wakaambiwa bring your papers. I bring an audition. It is talent.
Yes.
You go to another media house, they'll tell you ufanya bring your papers. So like now mimi on the level I am in my group, you teach people courtesy. Simple thing like courtesy, because I know where some of us have come from, and someone might accuse me, but that's the truth. Kuna vitu mingi sisi ukamka to green. Excitement, and no one teaches these people as they go, and that's why now sometimes I say, if it were possible, Kenya National Theatre, we have a great director there, Mr. Pudo, and other people, even the ministries, they will bring programs. I sat down one day with a gentleman as a director there. Nikaambia, I wish hata kama ni every August mngekuanga na workshop. Not to tell people about acting, because sometimes you acting to but talk to our lives. We don't talk about insurance until somebody amekufa. I remember some time back through Pulse, by then Charles Otieno alikuwa hapo. They wrote something about actors and artists in the country. I want at a bank account. And it's still happening. Those are just small arrangements, our own lives. So napata when now vitu zikilipuka au kujisort. Unafikia I'm trending, I'm having a million nini, those kind of things. So mostly ni poor planning on our side, and that poor planning unapata in the excitement tuko pombe wanawake. Siasa ndio tuliwacha pesa. You remember pesa siasa na wanawake. So siasa ndio lakini pombe just try ya maisha, unaona, that kind of a thing. Sometimes maybe I'm not, because I'm not married. I'm not married, but sometimes when I look at come on Nigeria, for example, maybe that's our close
but they marry early. Marry early.
Yes, that helps them also to plan to nini, because sisi utapata wewe ni uko na miaka sijui ngapi haujai plan. Although I'm not saying that lazima uko na family, because that's your own personal thing,
yeah.
But the planning, we must know that life is real, life will happen. Now the moment you take this as a job, then you'll be knowing, kama ni this year I'm planning this, I'm supposed to do this, blah blah blah. Hata kama ni kukunywa, now I'll preach to them and tell them okoka. Hata kama ni kukunywa, usikunywe to a point that now we find ourselves certain naomba tuna yani it's a funny you know of the many stories that have been there. So this pombe thing you're talking about, inakam na excitement that is there. It's acting, music, whatever is the most exciting place you can be, especially if it works for you. But now you need to plan. Yes.
Okay. Name an interesting incident that has happened to you while on the road when you're moving na art.
Interesting
thing.
that happened while on the road. I think mostly nature. Because nature mostly make me think about scenarios. I think about ningefanya kitu fulani. So like I've been on places. I think I was in Lang'ata or something, and nikatoka kwa ndai na kuanza kuact casino. I look like a mad person, but I was just imagining I'm there nasema hii place ingekuwa hapa. Then I just found myself acting at the end of the day. Because of now what that nature like affected me. So that was a very very interesting thing. Niko peke yangu, you're almost like a mad guy, but now maybe if somebody saw me, what they didn't know is that that feeling, what I saw, affected my thinking, my creative side of me. Yes,
I remember reading a sad story, and I think I called you. By Nation, they announced you are dead, yet you were not dead. You were very alive. What really happened that time?
That was the second time. So I think it happened. But unfortunately, 2022 was not a very good year for me. We started very well, but now in August, we were heading for a show with my crew. Uko Nakuru Girls. So we were supposed to have a show there. Then the morning, it was on 26th. So my crew wakabod gari wakatoka. Then I was following them. I was like 1 hour and a half behind them. So unfortunately, reaching Naivasha, they had a very bad accident, grisly accident, and one of our actors passed on the spot. Another one, a lady was also our leader, passed on 13th of September of that year. So that's Santi. So during that, all that commotion and kila kitu, and of course, mushukuru Mungu sana that I was able to, God gave me that grace to handle it. People were on my side, actors, kila mtu alikuwa on my side. So a day after that, and thank you so much, you really helped me. A day after that, I woke up to news that I'm dead. So ushaitembea ukaona wewe ni ghost.
People will be scared. Kama umesoma na sijakuona then
yes, so nikasema what? So I didn't even know kwanza that was the news outside there, but I think that was it was Nairobi news or something. I think unfortunately, because they apologized, I think what they got was different, that I was part of the people who had walikuwa wamevuka, but haikuwa hivyo. So it was a bit scary, trying now again to go through my contacts, telling people. But some of the things that you guys made, some of the writing after that helped me so much to remove that. That was a sad moment for me. Yeah, as I was also mourning same time. Maybe nimekufishwa hapo.
Unalived.
Alive, yes. Yeah. So that was that. It was an accident, unfortunately, and it was just misinterpreted in a different way. Yes.
Pole sana. Now the prosecutor at Vioja Mahakamani. Do you feel the pressure of making that role more powerful, more different? Because ule prosecutor alikuwa before you. Alikuwa pia another legend.
RIP, that was a legend. And kweli, I didn't know. I never thought. But I remember in 2015 when we came there, when we were called by KBC through the former minister Matiang'i when he was in ICT to come and take over the program. We didn't know exactly whatever happened, but we were just called in, and ilikuwa group kina mimi, King Kaka, kina mchungaji Mtumishi, some other guys, and the late what was the name of our former judge at that time. So I used to tell myself that there is a reason why we've come to this. Of course, we had a lot of opposition from guys who were saying, "Mbona mnakaa kuchukua program wenyewe?" But sisi tulikuwa tumeitwa job. It was a hard one. I knew very well, but I kept in touch with the former by then was a former cast of kina Lucy, the former prosecutor, and that team. So mi sikuwa na ubaya now.
Yeah.
Because it was maybe the internal issue with them. 2020, we were removed, or we were just told to go, and they'll know what to do. Then we saw the former cast coming in. So I never thought of I'll be back, but it was good training ground for me. Fortunately, I was called in. It was unfortunate because I was now coming to replace somebody who was there for a very long time. But I took the courage and the task to get into the show of the guy. Bado show ni kubwa kwa sababu I still continuously watch his former programs to learn one or two things, how to move on set. Kama hizo, although I'm a lover of law. So kwanza the judge Lucy has been a great backbone to what I'm doing, kina Ondie, kina Makoa. And so I believe strongly, apart from just being the challenge, learning has been my thing, listening. Because them, they've been there. You can imagine Lucy talking about they were there since 1974. When nani sahi hapo. So
umezaliwa kweli?
Wapi? Nilipata sijikani. Yeah, so ni challenge kubwa, but I've taken it up. And every day I try to sharpen it. I cannot say it napingana because I think I'm different in my own way. I look at my character very different. One, to educate. That's the most important thing. Two, I strongly try to bring in an audience that walikuwa na hii kitu ni watu wazee. Okay?
The new guys,
the young guys, maybe who more are into fashion, the way, the outlook. So those are some of the things that I try to do. Maybe the way I'm talking is a bit different, and those kind of things. Yeah. So that would be a bit of a challenge, but with the help of the other guys on that set,
the legends,
yes, and of course also the producer Shama has been a great backbone to what I'm doing. Yes.
Do people recognize you? Unajua watu wana assume KBC, nani ana watch KBC, but do people recognize
you? I go to places. First of all, mimi those guys who know me, mimi si msewa, mimi mse tu, mimi ule mse tu ground hapo hivyo. So sometimes I don't when the place unafikiria kuna mtu anakujua, then someone just those of wewe si ni nani ama nakujulia wapi, then prosecutor. Now kwanza in Nairobi ni mob. People think that I'm a policeman. I go to police stations and the respect I get from especially my police in Ngori sana. And many people watch this thing. I talk of a story. One day I went to Hispania and I was in a certain famous hotel Iwanga hapo, kamkahawa pale, nikitake chai yangu. Then these two guys walked in and told me, wewe wapi uje mahakamani? Wewe si ndio kiongozi wa mashtaka? Unajua sisi tumeshatumia one of your stories in solve issues at their nyumba 10. They watch the program. So ningekwambia people recognize what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I've been in Dar es Salaam and kwa mwaliko wake unasema Mrisho Mpoto, if you know Mrisho Mpoto. And the same thing happened. I got interviews in Dar es Salaam because of this program. So to me it's big. Maybe people all day watch siku moja.
I think tu ni watu wa Nairobi ndio tunajifanya sana na hii internet
ya Nairobi. Yeah, but the recognition is there. It has given me a platform, and I think even by the time hata nilikuwa napatiwa hiyo Head of State Commendation, one of the things, of course, they were looking at the work you've done over the years. So I think also this thing came in, we nana replace mtu, and then maybe out of now looking at what I've been doing for those very many years, it also added a plus on my work. Yes.
Nice kabisa.
Santi.
Director Prisk.
Kiboko.
You know, hapo social media tunashangaa sana. Why are artists getting 2,000, 1,500, 300? Yet CMOs, you guys are collecting money. Yeah. Why? Yani question ni, why are artists being underpaid?
Okay, I came into PRISC, Performance Rights Society of Kenya, as a director. Now almost clocking 2 years. I was replacing somebody there that had been removed from the board. We had a board of 7 people. And then, so I was coming in as maybe a seasoned artist who has been there, who maybe was assumed, I would say not even assumed, understands how the industry has been.
Yeah.
I'm running a group. I've managed more than 1,000 plus artists. No artist from my side who has ever said that Alliwah amemwibia or something. So I was going there believing strongly, as part of the guys who have been complaining about the same place, that we can go there and change how things are. Those guys who don't know, maybe CMO, Collective Management Organization. Basically, there are stories about collecting monies, royalties, and then distributing. That's our main mandate as that. But of course, we can't shy away from saying the truth. And sometimes we even wish to apologize to most of our artists that CMOs have been mismanaged. You tuseme tu kweli, have been mismanaged, and also CMOs have not really gotten the kind of support that we ought to receive. So unapata sometime because of that, kama sometimes like right now, we're complaining about the economy, we're complaining about government not supporting the CMO in terms of collection. We need to have police who will go outside there and collect. So royalties are low, but of course kuna zile vitu internal like overheads in terms of how we manage these organizations. They have really affected how collections are done and how distributions are done. So that is a case that is there. We cannot even if I want to try to sugarcoat it. I'm a Christian, I'm an artist, damu kabisa, I'm practicing, I'm still on the job. So mismanagement has been an issue, a very big issue on our side, on side of these CMOs, how we manage it. But of course kuna mikakati. I don't want to talk about mikakati. Mikakati ni mbaya. Kuna mikakati zimeekwa, okay, zimeekwa that to try to overturn this, and maybe the artists can get their due. I really salute the CS Babu na Mwamba. The many talks that amepeana kule nje, the plans that are there, the blueprint, those kind of things. They are now talking about the black tape levy, that maybe hizo vitu zinaingia kwa country, we can get in there and distribute. But I would urge the government, gava isiwache CMO. They run themselves. It's dangerous. It's very dangerous. Come on, to because tukiwachwa, the things that have been done in the past will be the norm of our life. We need change of mind, change of how we do things. That I'll say without fear or favor. Change of mind and change of how we do things. That an artist may struggle. I've talked about the time I know how you're molding an idea, you creatively molding an idea, then you tupe uko nje. Artists hai hawana story na kuuza tapes, hawana story na kuuza CD. They expect somebody to help them be. Tunasema sangine si planning ati artists ya plan nini, artists anakufa. Some of these guys, their programs, their stations, their media houses who are playing our music or playing our works, and they're not paying. Why? Because sometimes even the CMOs wakienda huko kwenda collect inakuwa ni shida, because maybe a big brand or something. But if the government puts a law, because I know by the end of this year, the president has pronounced himself about what he wants. We are expecting that maybe the end of this year, 2023, there'll be one of the greatest distribution as put by the government. But I would say the government need to come in, need to be super sincere. But as they are super sincere, they need to check on the management of CMOs, because things are not really rosy and sweet for these guys who are managing these CMOs. And again, the membership, artist. My artist was Chagoma Beste. Was Chagoma Beste. unachagua best
leaders.
Na kufanya kitu ile politician wanatufanya hapa nje. Because atulan unachagua best yako kwa sababu ya euphoria, mtu ana background, ana nini, ana anything, ana nini, then we still complain about the same. So when you are given a chance to choose people, let's not go the euphoria way, let's not go the political way, but let's know it's about our lives.
Yeah.
Hii ndio pesa utalipa bill zako, and then we'll have the right way. So it's a government first. Is the management to start thinking about different. I complain about one thing. Why is it that it's only in our CMOs whereby you don't even know a report? The other day, one day,
report is a myth.
Yeah, it's a myth. Just the other day, we had a report from KQ. We know how, if you want to go to the whatever stock exchange, you know where to get a report before you buy the shares. Do you know a report about the CMOs, despite even you're private? Those are things that I believe strongly they need to be opened up to a point that artist understands. To me, nasemanga, I'm a shareholder in a certain company. I don't want to talk about it. I was saying, nilipa shares kitambo. But those guys, nilipa, the last time walilipa so moja. I'm telling you, walilipa so moja. But now you see, you so moja. Why I'm not going out there shouting is because actually those guys are making losses. No, now I know. But now, us before we pay guys 200, 2,000, 500, 3,000, I'm a 1,000. I'm a nothing. Do we explain to this shareholder, this stakeholder, the way we call them, that sahi hii ndio kitu inafanyika?
I think mna need kufungua portal.
Ndio tufanye.
Sasa ndio watu wajione, yes.
Exactly.
We made these millions. Na hii ikaenda kwa hapa na hapa. Na wewe ukapata 300.
Na maybe somebody anasema Alliwah unasema lakini wewe unafanya nini? That's what I've been doing, because at the end of the day kuna board and we have our own ways, our own things we do in our board, and the way those memos, the memoranda and those kind of things, they guide us. So they are there, but I'm just saying with a new government, with a new energy, president akona energy, president akonayo, and understand mahasla vile nasema, I believe strongly, and an energetic CS kama Ababu akifanya kitu supposed kufanya, believe you me, we will change. We'll have a change, and that change will come. Be it mimi nitakuwa hapo au mtu mwingine atakuwa hapo. We need change, because tomorrow I'll be out. I need the same thing. I need to be treated well. Yes.
Yeah. I remember there were talks that these CMO bodies rather to be banned and then ikue kwa government body kama Kenya Copyrights Board. Na Kenya Copyrights Board also in short Kikobo regulates you guys, the CMO, Prisk, Camp, MCSK. Na I think even juzi they walikata kupea nini
some of the
CMOs licenses. Na wengine mlipewa Prisk, I think they were given to nini.
Now all of us were there to go now.
Reason being then was that hamkuonesha financials was a myth, ama sijui mlikataa ama hamkuonesha. So do you think easy bodies should be banned or heavily regulated by the government? Which one of the two?
You see, at one point you think, when you just think about the mess that has been there, banned the issue, your story, that's the first thing that will come to your face. But there's something else. The other countries that are running, these are where the CMOs run. Mostly CMOs are independent bodies, okay, but owned by members.
Yeah,
members are the ones who judge. They judge how things are supposed to be done, those kind of things. To me, I would really wish they remain the way they are because of issues to do with the rights, copyright. There are things there are rights that Prisk inafanya, take that camp is for producers, and the other rights that are enshrined on side MCSK at the end of the day. The big issue here is nothing but management from top. The regulator, Kekobo, is he 100% doing his work? Because he's the government. From the CS office to the Mr. Sigei right now, currently the director at Kekobo, are they doing their work? If they did their work, believe you me, we will not be talking about easy vitu za what do you call it, how the CM was run. The president, maybe this is off, but the president is talking about Mumias Sugar. Somebody can come and say something else, but Mumias Sugar is for that community, that is for public. It's a public entity. Despite that, we talk about private, but we are collecting in public. We're collecting in public. So regulation would come strongly from the government, from Kekobo, and that will help us do the right thing and be like other countries. Because if you talk about going to put us in Kekobo as one, ni sawa, but it will only happen to what FIFA talks about. FIFA haitaki gava control football, but gava regulate football. The regulation. So if you regulate well, then we will not have these problems, because there are things, there are interests that are Prisk, there are interests that are Camp, there are interests that are MCSK. If you think about MCSK in the 80s, then today you say you want to take all the rights of the MCSK and put them under one person, it might be a problem, because they have their members and their interest. But the thing ni, kama tumefika mwisho ya mwisho. It happened one day in Nigeria, football team ilete noma. Sani Abacha, by then president, alikuja kila mtu kwa jeshi or something or sort. It have happened in some other country whereby the government takes control of everything until now you guys reason and then they go back. That one can happen. But I'm saying
it's a last resort.
Yeah, there's still a window. We only need, you talk about the statements. I'm saying not all we have company, we have banks. They are regulated by the Central Bank of Kenya. But these guys they've been given a roadmap or rules to follow. You need to show your financial status by this time. It need to be public. Why are we not public? We're not public because there are jokers in this thing. Jokers in our CMOs who don't want to reveal some things. Some of us, maybe, if the government is truthful, let it come down. And that's why the other day, Ababu was being grilled. Because he knows very well, despite I'm heading this ministry, even the government, but we are under the watchdog of what? Parliament. We need to be under a strong watchdog. Ifanya kazi yake, government ifanya kazi yake, we will not have all this. We will not even be thinking about deregulating this. Kama mimi ni member wa camp, mimi ni member wa MCSK, member wa Prisk. If all these guys pay me well,
it should not be.
Yeah. And that's why we don't want this to be inside there. He go up and down, believe you me, again to attract corruption. It's easy to run them the way they are right now, rather than again merge this thing to their side. Yes.
You recently opened up about losing your dad on social media. Nasai umonge about losing your mom. How would you want to remember them?
To me, it's a story. It's a big story. That is, I never got a chance. I think maybe this is the first time, maybe candid kind of interview I've had about this. I've tried to linger the story, although some people closer to me, they know my story. To me, my mom and my dad is a life that I would not pray for very many people to have. That's one. But to me, it's a good lesson. In a world whereby things are changing and wase wanajipata kwa stories. Mimi nilipata kwa story because nilizaliwa na mama yangu vizuri sana. We stayed well. Then in the 90s they waka break. It wasn't easy. My mom passed on because of cancer. Akiwa na struggle na cancer. Kidogo tunawambia struggle na cancer. At one point, he called my dad. My dad was supposed to sign his own document that the hospital ndio aende afanywe operation for cancer. So my dad comes and anamwambia go and die with your God. It was a low moment for me. It's like a movie because it was in the morning and he came at around 4. Akuja hapo. Then I remember around 5 hapo we're going to school. Nikatoka, then I was dropping, nikimwasikia anasema nini. Then that's when nikasikia akimwambia mother yangu hivyo, nilitoka mbio nikaenda kwa shule. I always have that picture in me. It was a sad moment. Then I came back and even my mom was crying. And then unfortunately I followed that line. go and die with your God. Nilifuata until my mom passed on to my mom in the grave. And to mimi ilikuwa ni kama mie alimuua. Wewe alimuua. Any hiyo story ulisema. But now the bit of it later on in life, after miaka mingi sana, I got born again way back 96. Then I asked myself very many questions. Sometimes I usually tell people, when someone said akiniambia ati nachukio mtu asema hapana, I wanted to forgive my dad. And I met my dad. Funny, somebody connected, helped me to get him. Akaniambia mama yako alisemanga siku moja that angetaka sana. Because mom warned me, wewe usiwahi guza baba yako. That's your dad, despite everything. Because he feared that maybe I would do something. Because I was very bitter about whatever happened. But I met my dad, and when we were meeting, my dad could not even recognize me. The lady came, I was with the lady, and then my dad came, and alikuwa anakaa hapo, just looking at me, tunaongea, buying tea, one of the hotels in town. Then the lady was akamuuliza, do you recognize this guy? Anaambia, sijui. From 10 to 4,
he could not
get lunch. He could not, and after every 2 hours, the lady would ask the same question. 2 hours.
It could not even ring in his mind.
They were just casual talking to anaongea ni. Then that's when he dropped the whole potato. Dang. Kasema, this is Alliwah. My dad got shocked. Then the lady just left. Since you siku mpaka saiba.
Yani alidrop bomb na akadisappear.
Katoka tu hivyo. I remained my dad, but I told him, me have come here to forgive you. My dad was also into politics. He had a party there, kama hizo. So I forgave my dad. I came there purely to forgive my dad, because I said, the most unfortunate thing, Boyo, is that you didn't choose to be in the family you are.
Yeah.
Maybe sometimes you might be going through some issues in your family, but you didn't choose. The way my mom and my dad met, I was not there.
You are not there. Yeah.
Not there. And so it is up to me to change what I saw out of that. So I forgave my dad, got in my sister, my brother, to forgive him, and then we were good. But unfortunately, I took sana. My dad, we never really stayed. I didn't feel that. I can't say I ever felt the parental thing. That's why sometimes watu wengi wanajua, mademu wengi wanajua, I can call you mom anytime. And sometimes mbona unaniita mom na mimi nakatu? No, because I lacked that. And I always tell people that, sometimes that bit of parenting is very important. From what I saw from my mom and my dad, I understand some of the things that people go through. But there's a different advice I have. When I forgave my dad, I was relieved. Now, I came to realize there is one thing to forgive, and there's another thing called action. My dad didn't forgive. Not after 1 year, 2 years. My dad gets very sick. So every other person around him feels like you are the son. You need to
take care of your father.
He had other kids. I have a brother in Machakos called Philip. He's a politician. And I salute him. I just knew him the other day. I took away meet. But I like the way he approached the whole thing. My family, kila mtu, we didn't look at maybe the differences. My dad was a bit secretive. He not really open up and tell you many things. So even that one now, ilitupa place flani to all be alone. Because I was just me telling my brother and my sister, sindi tutajiketi ushago yetu. Because we don't know where to go to. Yeah. So he got sick. I got really involved in the whole bit, because I tried looking at how he was, and as God gives you a scenario whereby you would have also treated your father the same way I treat my mom.
If you had that anger.
But now I was there until his last day. Then he passed on in 2021, unfortunately, and we buried him in Lang'ata. according to his wishes at the end of the day. So the big lesson is to be a better person. It has, in a way, in some way, also affected how I think. I deep, not because of anything, but I deep respect women. Extremely. Maybe it even helped me even to meet people. I met Kina Winja, you know Winja, Jackie Vike. Yeah, people who came there, like I usually look at Jackie Vike. She came there very innocent, naive. Whatever she plays today that is her. When she came to my group, then I gave her a part to do a part in a play into Pauline, coming to Bath. As Paulina, this lady coming from Ushago and confused in town. And I see her today. But I remember the first picture wakaniambia, Alliwah, mimi naogopa, nimetoka kwa maisha hivi na hivi. But I don't know how people look at people, men especially nini. But I like it that I gave her a platform, didn't scare her. And today,
she's a force.
And then dad now, dad, but so one, to give women a chance to look at women differently, to be a different man, has been the most important thing that I got from my parents or my family setup at the end of the day. They died different time, 96 and 2021, but all in all, with the struggle and everything, here I am. I always say, wengine wana struggle na familia zao. Let not your parents make you turn out to be a funny thing. Kuna watu wana mourn for a very long time their family.
Carry that anger.
Hapana, you have your own other bit. My dad came to celebrate me later. He didn't know, but my mom one day alikuwa ananiambia, one day this guy atakuja pale a knock or something aseme akuje. So rather than fighting that background, because ni ulipatiwa kama just like Jesus was given Mary and Joseph, angepatiwa mtu yote mwingine, but this is the family that God amekupatia utoke hapo. You can make it different. Yeah.
Wow, positive.
Yes.
Alliwah, do you have a life partner?
No.
Do you want to get married in future?
Kabisa. Yeah, one of the stories that people ushanga skia that I've never dated.
Hata yeye nimeshangaa.
I've never dated. Hiyo ni kitu niambia wase wengi wanashangaa. My cast wanijua, but siko baya, I'm very normal.
Have you ever been tempted
to
by we creatures, the women?
Sana. Yes. If you're normal now, they must tempt you. I always say it's maybe the way. To me, when I was 16, when nilianza kuamua life vitu zingine, nilisema the things I thought about. First of all, by then, si kama sasa hivi, maybe women are a bit aggressive than hizo siku.
Siku hizi tunakwambia
nakutaka. So to me, it was about choices. So I had to sacrifice one. Hizo siku ngwa nasemanga mademo hawezi approach boy. So and ni mademo wapende wako very busy. So kitu ya kwanza ni gear 1. Busy. I'm a busy. Ile kitu wasema nanichukia nayo ni I'm a workaholic. Mbaya sana. Mimi kazi ndio kichwa yangu, everything. So through that I was able to cruise through those years. Mimi sijaienda. I tell guys sijaienda kwa club. Sijai smoke, sijai drink, so nikajipata kwa another place. Then God pia kanipatia hapo, niko church, niko nini. And then this thing about inspiring a generation, I wanted to inspire people differently. Like they are my sisters. They'll come. Some of them are very bold to tell you some things, but I usually say kuna kitu moja God alinisaidia nao sana is the beat of sex. Because that's a very strong drive at the end of the day. But me usema I don't want kwa hii life, if there's something, it depends on how we start and we move. Let it not just be a pleasure of today and then evil. So at time pia kuna nisha confess that the moment I wanted to date, kuna kitu nilikuwa nafanya mbaya. I don't know why issue yako ina candid sana hivyo. Nilikuwa napeanga dem kama 2 years, na udem ako sawa. Sawa. So nikipata kama 2 years na mwangalia. I'm not even saying anything. Tu hapo 2 years nimeona anafanya vitu zake nini. Then I start praying and tell God nisaidie hapa. See, hata a mess. You to be a mess.
Show reveal to me.
In 2 years, we were them on a mess. Now when you're on a mess, they just do something and then you're off. But I really say natafuta mtu. Natafuta mtu. So kama unajua mtu.
Ni kulink. Lakini naogopaka what's it called? Ku hook up. Because ikienda mbaya sasa tena lazima tukosane because mimi ndo nili hook up. Ngoja tu Mungu anakupitishia hapo hivyo. Yes.
Umeharibu mbaya.
Utapitishiwa hapo.
But sijapeana 072 nini. Yeah, but naomba sana that I be in a relationship. I have another generation at least. Ni call mtu jina yangu. Muse watu wangu watoto Alliwah. Nice. Watoto Alliwah. My small kingdom. Yeah. So there I'm positive. I believe one of these days I'll be somewhere.
Atakupitishia.
Nitaitia Rusi sio.
Yes. I wish you all the best on that.
Thank you. Yeah.
You've openly talked about being a believer. Describe your call to ministry.
Wow. Nakwambia pia preacher. You know these strong words. Hallelujah. Describe your call to ministry. Hallelujah. So one, I'm a born again Christian. To me, everything rotates around God. I call myself the palace boy. Alliwah, the palace boy. That palace has a long story about David and the way upon the dance here. So to me, to the ministry, in that I'm a believer, I talk about Christ more than anything. I always say 100% Jesus oriented. Everything I do, I want to have a touch. I believe in this show, the people who listen to this will not just listen to a story. That's why you see, at times I try to avoid verses, Bible said, because one thing, there's a strong belief in the Bible, that everything that is noble is godly. Anything that is noble is godly. The only problem is, as you're doing the positive thing, temptations are there, and you need a seatbelt. Like just a car is very good, but in the seatbelt, it needs other things. It needs a speed governor for it to be able to maintain the road. That's why now you bring in Christ, God, to maintain and to help you. You have maybe the discerning spirit to understand some things before they happen. So to me, mostly is to present the face of this good God, this word of God to people, that being a born-again Christian, knowing God is not boring. Knowing God is not boring, and it's the sweetest lifestyle. You don't need to shout it out as anything, but it's the sweetest lifestyle. I know why I pray. I know why I fast. I know why I think about God. I know why I hope. And that's why, to me, mostly mine has been to reach out to the young people. When you come to my group, you'll not hear me maybe talk about maybe safety. But we have systems whereby all these guys are attached to the word of God. Everybody has time to read the Bible. Everybody has time to pray. And through that, I've seen changes, and people think about life differently, because life itself is just God at the end of the day. Yes.
Do you see yourself going to ministry as a pastor and planting a church somewhere?
Not really.
Mentorship.
Not really. Not really. Maybe mentorship too is those mentorship being called to talk to the young people about the word of God, but I've not really seen myself into ministry, into being a pastor, unless maybe it will come, I don't know, into a pastor. But mostly to me, it's using art, talent, because I always believe this talent you are given is the only thing in the Bible with the promise and the blessing, true, that you shall dine with kings and queens. That's talent. So using my talent to minister has been the thing. My other colleague, that is Carl, who also happens to be my brother. He's only now we call ourselves colleagues. I don't know why, but we all love it like that. Carl is now the one who was now turned to be a pastor. He's now a pastor in those side of Feather Tassia. But to me, it's mostly I look at myself using my talent to reach out. Yes, and I would love that I lived and I used this great talent to impact young people and more tell them the goodness and the sweetness of God.
Nice.
Yeah.
Lastly, parting words to young creatives coming up in this industry.
I love what is happening right now. I love the things I've seen. I love the transformation. I look at people like in Abutita. I know where they used to come from, where they came from. I used to see them in Arboretum. I've seen very many people kina Chipukizi waki-act the same things were doing. He was doing Kifo Kisimani, kama Mwelusi, I was doing Mwelusi. All of us, the turn of events, the way people have been able to like metamorphosize to what they are right now. The opening up, the new guys, the content creators we've seen. One very strong thing I would urge very many of them before we start, so that we don't push ourselves to the thing. People are saying, "Oh, close TikTok, nini." Positivity sells. Positivity sells.
Yeah.
Positivity is so fulfilling. You are born to leave a landmark. If you can use the platforms, the creative to create positivity in life. You don't know that Lynne Ngugi also came from my group. Yes, Lynne Ngugi came straight from my group. And one day she came back and she was talking about some of these small things you used to say. I used to tell them the best thing you can do outside there is to impact guys different. That's what they remember you for. So to the young, upcoming, and even the ones who are there, content creators, I would say let's change the world through our art. I love it when I go to schools and they don't look at my group as just guys who have come to act. Like one of our mission is to empower the youth and showcase the role models. I bring to them young people who are not only passionate about art but passionate about life, and who tell them the truth and tell them why they're supposed to also to succeed. So I don't just look at it at going there kufanya hizo vitu za set book and getting money. Hapana. So I would say to the young content creators, the best thing you can do, be positive, clean content, and never lose hope. But above all, because we're in that creative industry, kindly remember to plan your life. Remember always to go back. Bed zetu huwa ni place poa sana. Hizo room kama ni wall 4 or something, enda hapo ujiulize maswali. After everything, do you have a 5-year plan? That 5-year plan haikuangi na artist ngani ya boardrooms ama hizo ma company, those kind of things, but it's something that you need to have it in life. So at the end of the day, as you move on, guys will look at you different. How will they look at you? You have a content, whatever platform or something. How will people look at you 10 years to come, or when you will not be doing this thing again?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, wisdom.
Kidogo tu.
Thank you so much for coming.
Sana,
na karibu tena.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bus Central any day.
Yes.
Or subscribe, by the way. Subscribe. This is a place that utapata the best of content and the best news, and understand some of these guys. Some of these guys will inspire you. Everything.
Actually, our motto is inspire, educate, entertain.
Alala.
Ukiwa inspired, be educated. If you're not educated, at least tutacheka kidogo.
Yeah, now say mimi kwa socials ni muhimu sana sikizi kusema socials, Alliwah HSC everywhere, and of course YouTube.
I think with the double L.
With the double L.
Nilitafuta.
Kuona sana double L na mwisho kuna H.
Single L simpati double L.
Yeah. So mfanya bado music, I still do music, kuna music zingine na kama brandi, and of course at the end of the day visibility yangu pia soon on terms of what I'm doing in art will be uploaded soon.
Yeah.
Asante sana.
Thank you guys for watching the episodes. Please subscribe. I will see you guys on the next one.